Hi, I'm Lynn, and we're leaving Ewetopia Farms behind today and putting on our wandering shepherd's hats, and we're heading out to Jones Creek Trails. It's not that elusive Sasquatch again.
He just come out of the mud. He just come out of hibernation.
Hi, sweetheart. So come take a hike with us. It's Easter Sunday in Canada, so none of the leaves are on the trees yet. But it was a sunny day for a change, so we decided to leave our sheep farm, Ewetopia Farms, and head out for a little walk. We are going to be taking Bear Trail and heading along that, and hopefully it's going to bring us to some water and some views.
Bear Loop on Bear Loop.
So this is a fairly rugged trail, although not a lot of elevation gain. But at this time of year, the leaves from the fall are covering all the rocks and the roots. So you have to be really careful where you put your feet so you don't go for a header.
The size of these two trees.
That's a really big tree. Go stand beside it so we can see how big it is compared to
They've been there for a while.
Arnie is 6'2", so you can see it's a pretty good old girl. I mean, it's not those old growth forests you see on the west coast of North America, but it's pretty good for Ontario. We're near Gananoque, Ontario right now, which is a small town on the St. Lawrence River. Fungus, Arnie?
Yep.
Is it a good one?
Not really.
It's not?
Well, I think it's last year, so it's not a bad one.
Looks like a big one.
Yeah. That tree's seen their better days, that tree.
This Jones Creek Park is just across the parkway from the St. Lawrence River, which is the border between Canada and the United States. And although it's relatively flat at the beginning, it does start to get very up and down through granite and limestone rockways. As we make our way down to the marshlands that are near the midpoint of this trail. And we're hoping that on this journey we'll get to see maybe some ducks or birds, because at our hike yesterday when we went to Frontenac Park, we really didn't see too many birds, and at this time of year in the spring you'd think you'd be seeing a lot of them. So here's hoping we see a little more on this trail. We've come a little later in the afternoon because it is Easter Sunday, and the parking lot was quite full, and we met a lot of people heading towards the parking lot because I assume they're going home to make Easter dinner. And we're expecting, because we left a little later, that we're going to be able to enjoy this peace and quiet. I'm not going to do music again for this video either, because I do want viewers to be able to immerse themselves in the sounds of this hike, which are right now the sounds of the frogs and the sound of peace and quiet and maybe the wind. I went down the wrong pathway there. Lucky I could see Arnie up ahead because I was going off-roading there for a little while. That's nice there, eh?
Yep.
I went down the wrong path there.
Yeah, it's a little hard to pick out. You have to watch the arrows.
Yeah, I totally missed it. And I thought, wait a minute, it doesn't look too friendly here. And I looked back and saw you were this way. So, at this time of year, you definitely have to be looking for the markers, because it is a way harder to pick out the path when like all the leaves are off the trees, so everything looks quite open.
But the pines over there that has a smooth bark, I think are called white pine.
Oh yeah.
But this tree here is a pine too, and it's a different type, and that's not very common.
No, it almost looks like that shagbark tree.
Yeah, there's another one there.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, I'm pretty sure that one there, right there. See, with the more smoother bark.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's called a white pine.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but this is a different type.
Maybe it's a red pine.
I don't know, but it's a pine for sure.
Yeah.
But it's got a different bark on it, and I just noticed that that's a different type. And I don't see that around too often. Now, maybe I'm not I don't travel all across Canada, so, but that's quite common for this area. This one's not. Anyways, just pointed that out. I figure when I point things out, it keeps since my age, you want to keep your mind sharp. That's how you're failing on me.
That's right. You gotta use it so you don't lose it.
That's right, then you gotta use it or you lose it. I'm the scout. Oh. So you get a few boards of that girl. Hey?
Really straight, tall tree. And just a little poke of springtime showing through. Spring in Canada doesn't arrive quickly, especially this year. Most of the parks in our area are very rugged. They're just naturally trodden down paths. The only time you really see where man has come in and made the trails a little easier for us is when there's a really swampy area. They'll put in a few boardwalks so that people can walk across. But in general, the trails around here are pretty bare bones, pretty natural. So when we hit a little boardwalk, it's always a treat. But it's not like some of the parks you see in Europe or the United States, where some of the trails look just amazing, like almost like paved pathways type thing. You're definitely gonna feel like you're out in nature in general on most of the trails around here. We're coming up to another one here as we round this bend before going up another outcropping of rock. And if you listen carefully,
Just gotta stop.
Are
Come on, then.
those frogs?
That's right.
And what's that behind the tree over there? It's not that elusive Sasquatch again.
Lynn thinks she's funny.
It is funny. We're heading up again now. Okay, my favorite parts of trails are when we get into the dark, what are these?
These are all pine, I think.
There's some
Oh,
hemlocks.
actually, there's an hemlock there, yes. I think this is where the owls are, aren't they? In the dark areas?
Yeah, they like the dark areas. They like these trees.
Yeah, these are all hemlocks here. Oh, there you go. Send me on my way. Garbage. That's a pleated woodpecker.
Woodpecker, yeah.
It's a pleated one.
Oh, and there's a duck in there. Let's see if we can see what kind they are.
Oh, there he is. See the duck? God, those frogs gotta be really irritating for that duck, eh? Noise pollution.
Well, it's a little too far to see, but I'm guessing it's a mallard.
Yeah, looks like a mallard. Yep.
But there's a look at the big dam back there.
This is a nice little rusty bench, eh?
Yep. That would be a rustic bench. So right now we're at a break in the trail.
Actually,
We are going to go up on this heron trail in a minute, but first we're going to head down into the marsh.
Oh, there's a bank machine down here.
Okay, so we'll see what we see in this big marsh. I'm guessing, of course, we're going to hear a lot of frogs in here. I don't know if we'll see anything though, but it's kind of a cool little walkway through this marsh.
He just come out of the mud. He just come out of the hibernation.
Hi, sweetheart.
He just come out of the mud. He just come out of the hibernation.
Hi, sweetheart.
Snapping turtle. Sure.
Aww.
So they can get pretty big, eh? They got about the size around. Like around 20 inches.
Isn't he cute? What? Does it look dry? This looks dry for this time of year.
So he's been in the water there somewhere burrowed in for the winter months, and he just come up.
Yeah, he looks pretty muddy.
Yeah, it looks pretty muddy.
Hi, sweetheart.
Just getting some heat.
You look beautiful.
I know I look beautiful. Oh, the trail, you mean?
Aw. Okay, Arnie's gonna walk along the boardwalk and give us a little play-by-play.
Walk along the boardwalk. Isn't there a song like that? Well, I'm just looking for any wildlife here. I don't know what that is. You'd wonder how a rock gets there. The marsh really hasn't started growing yet. Can you hear me then? I think all these bulrushes here, I think, is last year's crop. And I think if you come here to the middle of summer, it'll all be green again, a regrowth.
And it looks like that trail used to be a trail, eh?
Yep. Either that's private from someone else, or it used to go right across.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah, and I'm thinking they took it out because they were probably blocking anybody that wanted to canoe here or kayak here, eh?
Maybe, or you'd think they could do a little bridge like at Charleston Lake.
Yeah. Don't have the funds.
It seems like the water's low to me.
Oh, yeah. Sure thing.
No birds. I thought it would be full of birds and redwings and lots of frogs.
I'm thinking most ducks now are nesting already.
But if we're going to stop a few places, maybe on the parkway on the way home, and it's full of swans and ducks right now. So it's kind of hopeful that they'd be here.
At least we've seen a snapping turtle.
Yeah, he was pretty special.
A snapper.
Last time we were here, we saw one of those snakes.
Yep.
You should look for one of those on the way back. Our trails here aren't very exciting, but the air is fresh. You're away from people. And we work on a farm 24/7 every single day. So even when we can get away for a few hours, it's a real treat for us. So we take whatever we can get. But this is what our area looks like. It's very typical of the land around here in Eastern Ontario. Back on the trail to a little lookout here, which will look out over where we just were. And the attraction to this spot up here is that there's 2 Muskoka chairs up here. The provincial parks put them into random parks, and people will go on hikes just to find where the chairs are and see how many parks they can go to where they'll find the chairs. There are always 2 red ones.
So I'm thinking if you had a kayak, you could come right off the parkway and look how far up you can go.
Yeah, I think if we had a drone, I could bring it up and see where that little creek goes.
But I can tell you one thing for sure.
What?
We're not going to be sitting here very long.
Why?
It's cold. Like the point where you think it's going to snow. What's that noise, babe? Are they frogs?
Those are the frogs.
Well,
Onwards.
yeah. I'm gonna break the ice off the deck here.
Getting cold. It's definitely not summer yet.
Short summer in Canada, eh?
Really short. Do you see on any of the maps how far this trail
No,
was?
I was trying to look at that, but I just overlooked that, missed that.
We'll try look that up when we get back at the trailhead. All of these local trails that we're going on this year, we're gonna try very hard to come back for every season so you can see them at different times of the year. Summer is usually always the worst here because there's mosquitoes, and despite the fact that Canada is basically a cold country for 3/4 of the year, during the summer it's scorching hot, and walking in here is not the most pleasant. But we are gonna make it a goal to try get out and away from the farm a little more, if at all possible, and see what the Canadian outdoors has to offer in our little area of Ontario. We hear something and don't know what that sound is. What do you think that is? Almost sounds like a cat, but it wouldn't be a cat way out here. I don't know what that is. But we're gonna try what do you think that is? Bird?
I don't know everything, but to me it's a lynx or something crying out. I don't know. It was over here, now it's over there.
Maybe more over there now.
Just hold still for a second.
Wouldn't it be baby coyote? If anyone recognizes that sound, let us know down in the comments. I mean, we live in the country and I don't recognize that. It's moving because it's more in this area now.
It's moving away, so there's something.
Oh, it's too bad we didn't see it. But yeah, definitely leave a comment if you not recognize that sound. Right below where I was standing, I found some teeth here. This is another beautiful part of the forest with these big trees and a creepy animal calling behind us. Anything?
No. Just took a couple of pictures of the water. But you can
But see, it does that. This is the same water and it comes all the way around here.
That's what I said. I'm going to guess it's right around the whole island.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess it's a fantastic little canoe ride.
Oh, for sure.
But
It's just how do you get here, eh?
yeah, so
We'll have to look on a map.
yeah, and I wonder how long it is. But I'm thinking it's a lot longer than you think it is.
Yeah. And
Maybe.
we found someone who is out here with a boat.
Might be a good picture.
Kayak. So if he did it, we could do it. Some overwintering fungus. Watch out, there's some killer dogs coming.
What's that?
Some killer dogs coming. Watch out.
Huh?
Say hi.
Hey, boys.
Hi, puppies. Hi. How you guys doing? Hi. Hi there. Hi. Hi, you look like killers.
Oh, what?
Oh my goodness, you look like killers. Oh yes, you look like a killer. You do. You do. You look like killers. Are you having fun? Going up to another marker here, so we're going to see which way we're going to go. What do you think? Probably the long way, eh?
Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to head back anyhow.
That's right, but I'd go along the water. That's the way we went before. I think it's probably the nicest.
We're going to take Turtle Loop.
Yeah, and maybe we'll see some if we're lucky.
Look, and they even have it in French.
That's because this is a bilingual country. All the snow leaves on the trees and no fall colors. There's still a sense of beauty in these wide open forests as well. And definitely the temperature is perfect.
See a little chipmunk?
Is there a chipmunk?
Right there in that little trunk.
Oh, yeah, I'll zoom in.
Blending right in.
Where is he? Yeah, he's blending in so much I can barely see him. Oh, there he is. You can barely see him because he's frozen.
Is that log perfect or what?
Yeah, beautiful trees. That's your, like, no branches, so perfect for building. Not that we want anyone cutting these down, but yes, for pioneers, just perfect. Arnie, move up a little. Wave. Can you see me? I gave Arnie a microphone today so that when he gets up ahead, he can talk. And Arnie talks all the time. And then when he's got the microphone, he never talks.
You always say I talk too much then.
I know, but when I give you a microphone on purpose, that's when I want you to talk. Okay. Onwards.
I think you have to hunt for them, eh?
Yeah, but they're usually up at the top near the base of the tree.
This is just a little island, so this is going to go right back on the trail.
Yeah. This is a dead one with some fungus on it.
Last year's fungus.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they like freshen up
Yeah, I'm thinking
and just
you.
keep growing
Oh, maybe, but
because I mean, they're not dead, I don't think.
no,
I think they might
feel
be
they
just
feel
dormant, right?
they feel alive.
Yeah.
I don't know if they keep expanding or what.
I think they grow bigger and bigger and bigger. We're in an area here with a lot older growth, so the trees are a lot bigger in here. Seems like there's a whole cluster of them, which are very pretty. Although a big girl back there fell down. We had a lot of windstorms and ice storms this winter, but not a lot of snow. And it seems very dry for this time of year, which is not good for summer. We never want to go into drought years, so hopefully that turns around a little bit.
I always find this is the best way to notice if I'm overweight.
Why?
Because if I can hide behind this tree, I'm pretty thin.
Or the tree's really large.
That's the point, get a bigger tree. See, if it went like this, I would say, gee, I gotta lose some weight.
Yeah, and that's gotta be a 2-foot tree.
Old rusty looking girl there, eh?
Yep. Yeah.
Won't last very long, eh?
I know, I think that one might be dead.
Actually, our bush actually had beautiful trilliums.
Yeah. Yeah. On our farm, our bush at trillium season is just amazing, so we'll be sure to take you there. And then once trillium season is over, you get into the mushroom season. And we have some pretty fabulous mushrooms. I'll put a link to that at the end of this video in case you want to see all the mushrooms that grow around here. Oh, beautiful bark.
You don't want to stick your hand into one.
Wait a minute. There's not an owl on the second one, is there?
No.
I thought I saw a shadow. We're back to the boardwalks on the way to the trailhead now. And there's the little guy we saw. And if you want to find out more about his habitat and this area, if you read that, you can see that they have a QR code. And if you scan that, you'll be able to go in and see it. Okay, we have a little bit of update on how long those trails were. We started out on the green trail, which was 4.1 kilometers. We added on Heron Loop, which was 1 kilometer, and Turtle Loop, which was 0.6 of a kilometer. Oh, and Bear Loop. We did them all. It was 0.9 of a kilometer. So if we add that up, it was about 5 to 6 kilometers. And Arnie thought that was a snapping turtle, but I don't think it was, because this guy looks just like the one we saw, and it's called a Blandings turtle, but that's definitely him. So we're heading back in the car and we'll see what we discover on the way home too. Okay, we're just a little down the road from Jones Trail and we're at the Larue Mills Cemetery, just off the parkway. And when we were driving to the park earlier, I told Arnie I saw an old cemetery, and so we were looking for it on the way back to see what was here. What's it say?
Well, right there is a story right there. So it's a whole family from New York.
This is a family plot of a family who originally came from Albany, New York. They came here in the 1790s. He set up a grist mill and a lumber mill here. He died at 72 years old. His wife died at 59, and his children died at 17 years old, 4 years old, 2 years old, 1 year old. One only made it a few months. And it just shows you how harsh it was in those days. Go in. It's unfortunate about the sound of cars in the background. But look we got some crocuses, amazingly. Well, they're not crocuses, they're a type of wildflower growing here. First I've seen of these in this beautiful graveyard. So these are the parents. And these are all the children. They're so old that you can't read any inscriptions on them now. But quite a sad story of how the pioneers came here and the hardships they must have endured trying to establish a life in a new world. For Europeans, 1790 may not seem like that long ago, but for North America, that's extremely old. I believe Canada was established in 1865. So they were here well before then, when there was no parkway and cars racing by. And their children never got to enjoy it either. Very sad. Again was William and Abigail Larue and their children. Okay, this is the Thousand Island Bridge that goes over to the United States from the parkway that we're on. It was built in 1938 by the look of it. It says this bridge stands as an open door where the boundary is crossed. The only word must be pass, friend. And that was declared by Franklin Roosevelt. Someone needs to tell Mr. Trump that.
Inside, so if you go over this bridge,
yep.
But then you go over another one in the States.
Ah.
I mean, it doesn't show the border, but I'm pretty positive that's American bridge. This is a Canadian bridge.
Yeah, and this is the waterway you see.
So here
there's the St. Lawrence River, and this is an island in the middle.
Where that is.
And when you go to that island, we're not going there today, but just to show you, there is a tower there that you can climb to the top of. And at that point, you'll be able to see the American side, the Canadian side, the bridges, the St. Lawrence River, and this area is called the Thousand Islands. Unfortunately, from this vantage point, we can't see the bridges. Okay, there is a really dubious path down from that lookout, so I thought if I clambered down here, I might see the bridge. And actually, you can see the bridge if you zoom right in. It's back there. You can just see cars going over. I don't even know if you can see it in the lens. I can't go any farther because it's a massive cliff. But people have been hiking down here to try to do the same thing. Well, we're back at Ewetopia Farms. We hope you enjoyed your time with us today at Jones Creek Trails. If you did, be sure to give us a thumbs up. And if you're really interested, you could check out our other Wandering Shepherds videos, or even check out our daily farming vlog at Ewetopia Farms. Bye for now.